Hey guys, gwyned here, bringing you a retrospective look at my finals in MPDC Season 12 Worlds. This is Game 3. I won Game 1, lost Game 2, mostly due to a misclick, but I think it wouldn't have been in the cards anyway. And then this is Game 3, so hope you enjoy it. Let's take a look at my opener here. So obviously I'm going to choose to play first here. And this, it's tempting to keep a Halimar Depths. But, man, one land, even though if I have a land in any of my next 3 draws, I'm going to be able to draw it up, it's still such a risky keep to keep it one later, because if there's not another land there, I'm just screwed. There's nothing that can be done, and at that point, I just have to give in. I mean, it's like I'm going to miss, I know I'm going to miss 2 land drops, and that's just so devastating. So, rather than taking a chance on that, I think the right play is to mulligan. It's tempting. I think earlier, as a Magic player, I would have just played the depths and said, "Oh, I'm sure there's a second land there," but there very easily could not be any other land, and I wouldn't keep it. And so I just don't think it's the right. I think it's the right play to go ahead and ship this back and hope for a better 6. This is better. I got 2 lands. I'm going to be able to fetch another color. It's unfortunate that this is a mountain. If that had been a plains or an island, it would be a much easier keep. As it is, it's a little risky. Hard to know what to fetch here, although it probably is going to be blue. If I fetch a blue, any other land is going to be what I need. So yeah, obviously that's what I'm going to end up fetching. So this is a keep. It's not a great keep. My opponent keeps on 7, unfortunately. It's always hard when you're on the play and you keep a 6 and he keeps a 7, because you're basically feels like you're 2 draw steps behind. Yeah, fetching the island here, no surprise there. Opponent has a mountain right away. Drawn to a second mountain. There's not that many in here, so that's kind of an odd draw. But again, any third land was important there. Man, in this deck, if you can get your third land draw, you're going to be okay. Your third land drop, you're going to be okay. So here I have negate turn 2. It's, almost never going to matter, but I have it. My opponent, of course, has the great, starts off with a great turn 2 Squadron Hawk. Man, that's as good as you can do with this, except maybe, double preordain. I suppose that's pretty strong too. So that's unfortunate because I don't have any way of dealing with it. And I draw into Deprive, which isn't great, but fortunately I can use the Seagate Oracle and smooth out my draws. And now this is kind of a weird choice. I need that Squadron Hawk. It's going to be great to have that Air Force, but I don't have any planes. Looking at it now, I still think I would keep the Squadron Hawk. The Lightning Bolt is tempting, but what am I going to use it on? Now, if he has a turn 3 Core Skyfisher, I'm going to wish I had the Lightning Bolt. But generally, yeah, I mean that's tough. That's a tough call, but I still think I still think Squadron Hawk is a better play. And it looks like I thought the same thing at the time. Ship the Lightning Bolt back on bottom, wait it out, see what else my opponent's going to do. Again, he has preordain, does bottom top. Attack with a Squadron Hawk. I think game 1 we were in this basically the same situation, except that the sides are reversed. So this time he's the one with the early Squadron Hawks. By the way, I just love the art on these promo Squadron Hawks. I definitely have to get myself a copy of them. Those are just sweet looking. Definitely look better than the other ones. Squadron Hawk's so popular, I definitely just going to have to go buy myself one. I don't remember what you had to do to qualify for these. For a while there, I was playing a lot of limited and amassed a fairly good collection of these promos, but I just haven't played in a while, and I've missed out on some. And this is definitely one of the ones I would like to pick up. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And he obviously gets the next one, and we're off. It's great to draw into another Seagate Oracle. Another land would have been nice, but of course the nice thing about Seagate Oracle is typically you can find a land with one. I mean, it's unusual for you to draw the next 2 and not find a land. So do that, and hope I get to make my land draw here. My land drop, I don't know why I keep saying draw. Land drop. So obviously you never want the Squadron Hawk. I mean, that would just be silly. I'm going to get it for free. And the land, it hurts that I didn't find a land, falling behind on land, but, what can you do? Keep the preordain, and yeah, say goodbye to Mr. Squadron Hawk. Actually say, see you in a minute, Mr. Squadron Hawk. Opponent finds a Prism, and it's clear, I think here, that he is also stuck on lands, which is good for me. Yeah, plays out the Flame Sash. Yeah, he is also stuck on land, which is great since I'm stuck. Keeps us in parity. Ends up using a Flame Slash and a Seagate Oracle. Not, obviously the great choice, but of course it's better than discarding. So find another land, and what do you know? It's another silly mountain. So not what I want to see. I'll go and Seagate Oracle here. I think I caught that. That's great. I think the temptation is you get a land, you slam it, especially when you feel like your mana screwed. But waiting and playing the Seagate Oracle and seeing if I can get a different color, definitely the right choice there. Find an island, which is great because it's going to allow me to preordain. Here, yeah, I think that's the right choice. Seagate Oracle's, or I'm sorry, Sky Eel School is great, but I'm a long way from playing it. Keeping the island has got to be the right step. Yeah. So play it out. Go ahead and cast Preordain, Flame Slash, and Sylvic Lifestaff. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't have any removal. And on the other hand, Lifestaff's really good. I think my temptation here would actually be to keep both of those. That might be a little greedy. Squadron Hawk with the Sky with the Lifestaff's really good. Yeah, I think I would be very tempted. Although, again, my biggest problem is I still don't have any white mana, so that I definitely have to keep that in mind too, though. Yeah, I probably actually I take that back. Without having any planes, I think I have to drop the Life Staff. Um, Flame Slash is a little harder. Gosh, do I really ship both of them back and hope for another draw? No, I think if I had to do it over again, I would keep the Flame Slash. But let's see what I do. So I definitely, oh, I put the Life Staff on top. Interesting, and then bottom the Flame Slash. I would probably do that exactly the opposite. At least if I had to do it right now. That's interesting. But go ahead and push in with the Seagate Oracle and pass the turn back. Now, did I miss that land or had I already played one? I think I missed that land drop. Let's take a look here. No, I had played an island. Never mind. I didn't miss it. I was going to say, if I missed a land drop, that's just inexcusable. So opponent finds the depths, which will allow him to draw out of any mana problems he's having. You know, good for him. Attacking with Squadron Hawks, and he is definitely drawing ahead here. I'm gonna need to find some white mana here pretty fast, or I'm gonna be in a world of hurt. Especially since I know my opponent has great draws now. Finally drawn to a plains, and now it's like, okay, now we've got a game on. So attacking for 2, keeping fairly close to parity here. Now I've got a choice. Get the Squadron Hawks out, but again, I don't really want to trade off Squadron Hawks. I think the play here is to go ahead and do a Skyfisher and then bounce the Seagate Oracle. And then replay it. I think that's got to be the right play. He will probably kill the Skyfisher, but I still think that's the right play given the situation. Yeah, and that's clearly what I'm going to do here. Even if he kills the Skyfisher, which of course is exactly what he does, no big deal. I've still got the Squadron Hawk, but generating that card advantage is great. Now here, I definitely do not need a 4th mountain, so it's a clear keep on the Seagate Oracle. And obviously he's swinging in again. I'm taking 3. And he gets out that 4th Squadron Hawk, and I've just got to do something about his team. Oh, and a Skyfisher as well. Jeez, yeah. I'm really starting to get in trouble here. It looks like, at this point, it looks like this game is getting away from me. He bounces the Prism so he can replay it. And I'm hurting now. He is definitely drawn ahead. Drawn to a Flame Slash, which is great. Can go ahead and take out his Skyfisher. Only have one planes, which is unfortunate, but you know, go ahead and get that Squadron Hawk out there. You know, fetch the rest of the team, and hope I'm going to be able to stay alive long enough. I think here there's a couple different things I could have done there. Could keep negate up, but probably getting that Life Staff off and getting it equipped is the right play. Just because if he swings in, it's going to allow me to stay up on life. And it also tempts him if he had another burn spell to go ahead and burn out the Squadron Hawk, which is great, man. Anytime I can get my opponent to, you know, waste one of their burns on a Squadron Hawk, man, that's a happy day. But do get the Life Staff on it, which is pretty huge. And you know, we're within 2 life, keeping parity. You know, we're actually very similar here. His board is probably slightly stronger, but it's pretty close. So it would have been great to have been able to negate here, but obviously in this situation, nothing I can do. Interesting enough, he does bottom, 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 bottom. So he's really unhappy with what he finds. Not sure if he was looking for a land there or what's in his hand. But bottom's everything. Obviously don't know if what he drew is any better. I'm happy to trade off that one Squadron Hawk, and it basically means it's a net zero on his attack. He finds a Kabira, so he's sitting pretty, but not otherwise. The bottom, 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 bottom is very unusual for C not finding anything to keep. So at this point, I think he's starting to have some problems, and fortunately for me, it's going to allow me to take advantage of that. Here, all other things being equal, is there any reason not to take the Kabira? It does keep me back a turn. Play the planes, I can play out 2 of the Squadron Hawks, but play out the Kabira, I get 2 life. Keeping the Kabira, I'm not under a ton of pressure, but I still think keeping the Kabira is probably better, and that is indeed what I did. Play out another Squadron Hawk. Play out, go ahead and equip it. Swing him with a Silvok, and yeah, keep going. Finds a preordained, trying to get out of problems. Finally finds something he likes, is able to blow up the life staff, and we trade down. So draw Blister Stick here, which is great. Playing the Kabira, and go ahead and Blister Stick. Take out another Squadron Hawk. Now this really is key in this matchup, man. Whoever can control the air, and just having the ability to get rid of a Squadron Hawk without having to trade it off is really nice. And so now he's got 3 of them in the bin. I've got 1 out and 1 more in my hand, which is great. Also was really smart with the way I tap my mana there. Allows me to keep Deprive up. Here, this attack's a little risky, but, again, he can't double block. He'll block 1, I'll hit with the other one. If he wants to waste a burn spell to kill it, that's no big deal. And, of course, I leave 1 back so that I'm able to block his in return. But, every little point counts, and when you see an opportunity to get damage, even if it's just 1 point, all other things being equal, you might as well take it. So let's see what he's doing here. I don't really remember what this is. He's taking his time to do it, whatever it is. I'm having to really click through here. All right. So he finds a 4C. Here, this is a clear counter. Go ahead and use the negate would be the right play. Let's see if that is in fact what I do. I do in fact use the negate. Makes total sense. Plays the prism. That's fine. Not really. I mean, it's he's gaining more card advantage. But again, we're not far from parity, so that's not that big a deal. So find another land. It isn't terrible. I don't really need any more land. I'm in pretty good shape here. At this point, you can never have enough islands. That's where you're most likely to have the tightest pinch. Go ahead and swing in. Leave a Seagate Oracle back to box Sanctifiers. Again, I'm going to be able to block his, get at least 1 point in, and if he doesn't want to trade Squadron Hawks, then I'll get 2 in. He does go ahead and trade it off. And see, just because of that Blister Stick Shaman, I'm now going to have my own unopposed Squadron Hawk. Now he could very easily, find a Skyfisher or something else, but in the meantime, I've got control of the air, which is huge. I've also got a lot more creatures on the board, so he's really got to work to make that happen. Now, this is an interesting choice. Do I counter the Skyfisher? He could counter my counter, which would be unfortunate. But it gives control of the board back to him. I really can't attack profitably with that Skyfisher on the board at all. It's also going to allow him to generate some card advantage off the Prism. So, generally, it's not the kind of thing I think you want to counter, but in this case, I think it was the right play. So counter it, allows me to bounce the Kabira, which, again, is nice. Get a little extra life, and he has another one. Well, what can you do? So he will continue to generate some card advantage and, really, again, continue to control the ground game there. Now, that's a very interesting decision to tap. He almost certainly has some kind of counter in his hand, because otherwise, drawing into the Prism, he would probably be more likely to hold up red for a burn spell than he would be for the counter. So probably has another Deprive in hand. I see that here. I'm not sure if I saw it in time or not. Go ahead and play out the Kabira. Have the Bolt. If you have a Bolt and you have a Skyfisher on the other side, generally that's the right thing to do. Doesn't counter it. Not sure if that's because he was just repping a counter spell or if he doesn't really have it. Here, thought about swinging in with the Blister Stick. I think I end up just swinging in with the Squadron Hawk. There's no reason to suicide the Blister Stick yet. Hello? Yeah. So there we go. So he'll block 1, and I'll get in for another 2. You know, it's not much, but in a control matchup, every little point counts. So my opponent just draws and plays a plains and says go, and I find a 4C. Now again, I'm almost certain he's got a counterspell in hand, but I'm not that likely to draw into another one. So you know, hey, what the heck? Just go ahead and do it. That's kind of where I'm thinking. He's got enough mana. He's not likely to tap it all out. So I think playing the 4C here is right. Oh, and he doesn't have it. Sorry, I clicked through that really fast. Put 1 on the bottom, put 1 on the top, put 1 on the bottom, and obviously going to keep the Skyfisher. Sorry, I clicked through that so fast. Wish I could pull that back up, but nothing I can do about that. Sorry about that. And yeah, keeping the score Skyfisher is clearly the right thing. Wish I could remember what else was there. But so it looks like I kept a Lightning Bolt and bottom 2 other cards. So now here, an interesting question, do I go ahead and bolt his Sanctifiers that allows me to get in 4 more damage, assuming he doesn't counter it, and that's more than I would get from just bolting him to the face. Yeah, I think I like that play here. Let's see if that is in fact what I end up doing. It doesn't look like I do this turn, so I guess I'm being a little more conservative there. Oh, but I am going to go ahead and tack into the Seagate Oracle here. Oh, interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Because I've got a lot of options now, he'll still probably just block one of them. And I could kill it, but I don't think there's any reason to. Yeah, interesting decision there. Oh, of course, actually that makes total sense. Apparently I was playing better then than I am now. The clear thing I'm going to do here is attack with all 3 Seagate Oracles, bounce it with the Skyfisher, and then it'll be there to block again. So that's all I was thinking. That's clearly the right play. Even if he's got a burn spell, he can't prevent me from bouncing it. He can burn the Skyfisher when I'm done. But since I have multiples, he can't prevent it. Yeah, and he does in fact have the burn spell, but that's fine because I generated the card advantage. Let's see what I draw into here. Depths versus Sanctifiers. A little bit of an interesting choice, but I don't really need the land. The smoothing is fine, but blowing up a prism and getting a blocker is just going to be better 9 times out of 10. So found the right play there. Again, it's not hard. Finds another land, and at this point, man, I think he's just flooded, and he's really hurting. I've got control of the board now. I've got a Stagger Shock in hand. I essentially now have enough direct damage to kill him, assuming that he doesn't have anything else. But I'm going to go ahead and, well, I think my initial thought there was correct, was to go ahead and play out the Sanctifiers. Looks like I'm not going to do that. Okay, no, I just double clutched it. That is what, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do. So blow up the prism, take away an option, and then I think just go ahead and attack here and see where that leaves me. Swinging with the team here. If he blocks a Blister Stick, that's fine because I'm getting in for 4, and then I can just Lightning Bolt him for the win. Yeah, that's got to be the right play. Not too difficult there. And he does not have the counter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He does have the counter. So he goes ahead and counters that, has a Dispel. I think this deck plays 1 or 2 out of the sideboard. So it plays a Dispel to stay alive. Here, there's no real sense. Well, I would not have shown him that I had the Stagger Shock. I would have held on to it. There's really no reason to do it there. Getting rid of that Sanctifiers is nice, but I'm not worried about it. I think it would have been better just holding on to it. Sure, it's nice to take it off the board, but it really doesn't make that big a difference. And he negates it. I mean, so it's good to draw that out. I've now got all his cards out of his hands. He's just top decking, and he's got to have a pretty amazing top deck to stay in this. He's going to need a Skyfisher pretty much. And he, at this point, draws in and just says, good games, thanks for hosting, and I swing in for the win. And so that was my final match in MPDC Season 12 Worlds. I think no one was more amazed than myself when I found myself alone on top of the leaderboard, having won first place. It was amazing. Have never done anywhere close to that well in this style event. Felt pretty good about the way I played. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and would encourage you, man, I would love to see you on the other side of the virtual battlefield in MPDC. We play on Mondays, Standard Pauper. at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you go to the Wizard Community Forums and look in the player run events, there's always information about MPDC there. Encourage you also to check out pdcmagic.com. Lots of great information about Standard Pauper and all the different Pauper formats. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.